I was in Hampstead Heath walking my dog, and I met Michael Foot, Mrs. Foot, and their dog, whose name was Dizzy. And I felt, most people when they get to my age have met somebody really important, or many people very important. I can't really name drop very much because I can only say Michael Foot. And David Bellamy, I once met him but I was too shy to speak to him. So anyway, this is written when I was in my 20s, and it's called Walking My Dog in Hampstead Heath. Walking with my dog on Hampstead Heath, walking with my dog, and who should I meet but Michael Foot, Mrs. Foot, and their dog, Dizzy. Well, my dog, all she thinks about is sticks, so when Dizzy came up to give her a sniff, I was worried there'd be a rift. I said, "Chia, come on, let's go." Michael Foot said, "Dizzy, no," and gave a nervous laugh, and we went our different ways through the park. I thought, I can't wait to tell my folks back home about this. Well, Chia, she's a beautiful dog. She's got a wonderful body. She loves to run. She's got a good posture, not like us. She doesn't watch TV. She doesn't take drugs. She likes to run around to get to know the land, the sights, the sounds, the smell of every park in town. I was with her on Hampstead Heath. I was with her, and who should we meet but Michael Foot, Mrs. Foot, and their dog, Dizzy.
Wonderful.
I would think that so many years later I'd recite that here, 40 years later or so.
Brilliant.
Okay, the next one is called Beach House, and I think many of us have a sort of ideal world in the back of our minds. I'm a bit of a dreamer, and I'm always thinking of idealistic things, or something beautiful, or things I'm aspiring towards. And in this poem, that world is called the Beach House, for the sake of calling it something. And in contrast to that world, we have all our duties, our tasks and the jobs, everyday jobs we have to do. And sometimes people are told, don't be a dreamer, get on with your real world. And I'm suggesting in this poem that you can have both. In fact, if you aspire towards a beautiful world of your dreams and imagination, sometimes the tasks happen by themselves. So that's what I'm suggesting in this poem. And here it goes. Beach House. You've been at your beach house during your sleeping hours. You love how it catches the sun, both from the sky and the sea. You've been giving it your attention, including even befriending the birds. Their songs are so beautiful and piercing, they sometimes pierce the veil. You sometimes wonder if you neglect your duties here. You used to say, dishes don't wash themselves, but somehow they get washed while you are singing with your windows open, inspired by those beautiful birds at your house overlooking the bay. You've been at your beach house during your waking hours, remembering how it catches the sun both from the sky and the sea. You find that as you think about those birds flying in and out, your house here gets more beautiful every single day. I'm walking with you now. Too often when we were together, my mind was gone. But I'm not waiting for our reunion to turn that around. Instead, I'm trying to walk in a way our footsteps will rhyme. And I'm busy imagining walking with you now. Every sunset promises a sunrise, and every parting a return. But I'm not waiting around for the birth of a smile. Instead, I'm busy imagining, hearing your laughter now. I'm not waiting for forgiveness, but I am preparing for love. And I'm not waiting to hear your voice before talking to you. I'm not waiting to hear your footsteps next to mine. I'm not waiting for heaven. I'm walking with you now.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's lovely.
Thank you. Anyway, the light in your well-loved garden. When you look into your neighbour's face, you might find a story or two. You might even find a biography calling out to be written. When you look behind the headlines, you might find a shaggy dog story. You might get shrugs and shaking heads, and you might get a chuckle. When you see the bigger picture, you get bigger. When you see the light, you start to shine. When you look at the buds on a bare winter's branch, you see promise of leaves and flowers, and your enthusiasm starts to shine, just like the light in your well-loved garden. How precious are you? Ask your mother on the day of her most beautiful reunion, or ask your father on the day he makes peace with life and his eyes are damp with gratitude. How precious is life? Ask the lover who has just found his sweetheart, or ask the mother-to-be as her hand is moving from her heart onto her growing certainty. How precious is water? Ask the artist whose easel is set up, but whose paintbrushes need washing and whose paints need diluting. How precious is air? Ask earth, water and fire how much they love their family member. Or ask the tree who is still only half grown, or the lark for whom air is her special place to sing. How precious are you? Ask me, while I am looking for another excuse to give you a loving kiss. Theme, it's called Treasure. Treasure. You looked after a fledgling bird after it had fallen out of its nest. You called your little bird Treasure. Now she is tapping at your window and waking you up. In the night time, Treasure roosts in a tree along with many of her cousins. But in the daytime, she visits you and sometimes even goes for walks with you, sitting on your shoulder. You opened up the treasure chest of friendship when you looked after that fledgling bird. You didn't know how life would change for you, but change it certainly did. One day you noticed her gathering up spider webs, twigs and moss. She had found a partner and they were making a nest. You looked after a fledgling bird after it had fallen out of its nest. You called your little bird Treasure. Now she is tapping at your window and introducing you to her chicks. Theme. It's called Golden Humans. When the golden sun descended, it descended into my heart and stayed there all the day, never fading away. Please take some of this golden light from me. It has been overflowing my heart, and I think it was given to me to give. Please take some of this golden light as a gift. When the golden sunset light entered into my eyes, I must have blinked and locked it in because it is still there inside. And it is overflowing my heart. Please take some of this golden light as a gift. It comes out through my hands and I sprinkle it over the land. I think I've become golden. Have you too become golden? Are we all becoming golden humans? So, a poem for the Forest Row Festival. Forest Row is a place where good ideas grow, like this Forest Row Festival, which started some years ago as a bike ride between the schools, following a back and forth and roundabout route before ending up on Foresters Green. Forest Row is a place where independent shops flourish, like trees blossoming in spring. And then sometimes they end or change hands, like trees dropping leaves in autumn. Either way, the good work put in by our local friends enters our hearts and our village photo albums, like leaves enriching the soil. Forest Row is a place where love grows, like this Forest Row Festival, which started some years ago as an effort to link by pedal, hoof and foot great local places with beloved local faces. There you are. You, Ruins of Brambletye House, another poem, local poem. The ruins of Brambletye House stand with 3 bare shoulders exposed on the low ground near where the River Medway winds towards Forest Row. The road that leads down to the ruins goes over a railway crossing, past a few houses, around a converted barn to a working orchard. There are some remains of a water wheel nearby, a few farm animals in neighbouring pastures, and some cultivated fields. I wonder if I was to put an arm around one of those shoulders, would the ruins of Brambletye House share with me her stories? As the exotic green parrot arrived in Forest Row, I saw a green parrot in Regent's Park, and I wondered, has it arrived in Forest Row? After all, I have recently heard some strange sounds in the night, and now I think it may well have arrived. I took my camcorder into Forest Row, searching for this exotic bird, and I kept my ears open and my eyes peeled. I heard human laughter, sparking more human laughter, and someone calling out, "Thank you," as an answer to someone else's "thank you." I saw tears of sympathy, comforting tears of grief. And I heard a mother call, "I love you," in answer to her child's "I love you." I didn't see the green parrot, but I think from some sounds I heard that indeed the exotic green parrot has arrived in Forest Row. I realised when I was introducing it, I should have talked about that parroting, echoes. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're almost through. Just a couple, I think, now. Those are the Forest Row ones. When the celebrations began. Now, sometimes you hear the expression, "Where were you when something happened?" You know, it's like usually a celebrity. Where were you when the celebrity died? Because sometimes we remember these things. We remember exactly where we were. Or these incredible historical events. You know, where were you when that happened? And many people remember exactly, and they even think about it at the time. Oh, I remember this now. I remember where I was when this amazing thing happened. And I'm suggesting that we're moving into a new era now, when there's a new type of celebration of humanity which is beginning. A celebration of our capacities. We're starting to realise there's certain things about human being that we're more powerful than we imagined before, and we're more connected, and we have new abilities. And I celebrate that. So I'm suggesting that the question now is, where were you when the celebrations began? So I'm trying to bring that into the poem, as opposed to doing celebrity died, or building collapsed, or playing whatever. So when the celebrations began, where were you when you first started questioning some things? And where were you when you started breaking out of the spell? Please read me again those pages in your diary where you started waking up. Read me again those words and show me the accompanying artwork where you describe sunrise as a friend sharing secrets, and where you celebrate how the morning dewdrops washed your eyelids. Take me to that painting of a dawn where sunlight made you humble, and then sing me again that song about your dream where you saw a treasure chest open. Describe again to me those feelings of becoming powerful and connected, because each time I hear your accompanying voice, I feel so hopeful and good. Then take me to that poetry where you followed your heart and open up those glorious pages where you proudly did your part. And then remind me exactly where you were when the celebrations began. Really look forward to that question from my grandchildren. Where were you when the celebrations began? And I can almost see that. This is about things we can almost see. I can almost see love. I can almost see the grass growing. The evidence is all around. I can almost hear the rabbits munching. And as I lie on the grass, their fear is gone. I can see the daisies have opened. An hour ago they were closed. And I can almost sense a bud in your heart developing into a rose. I can almost sense sap rising in the trees. And I can almost feel the anticipation of the flowers for the arrival of the bees. I can almost hear rhubarb cracking as it grows in the fields. And I can almost sense flowers opening in your heart for me. I can almost see the tide turning as we walk along the beach. And as the rock pools fill up with the swirling sea, I can almost see health returning, like a tan brought on by fresh air and sun. My focus is almost returning. I can almost see love.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.